forgive me. I have sinned. I will be better. I don't want to go to the pit fires of hell. I've sinned. I've been bad. But no, Father, forgive me. Please, I have sinned. Most people associate sin with some religious or spiritual connotation. Sin, the absence of love or morality. I have sinned. I don't want to do anything to make my God, creator, higher power, evil or mad at me, so I have sinned. But you know what? Your spiritual and religious perspective, if you have one, is your business. But in this video, I want to give a different understanding, different meaning of sin. Have you ever thought about sin as the following? Self-inflicted nonsense. Did I say that? Yeah, self-inflicted nonsense. What things do I do? Habits, traits, or things that I say to myself that might impede me from obtaining and learning my English goals? I'm in sin. Want to know what they are? Well, I don't know. Maybe I could think of at least, I don't know, let's wait and see. But I have number one that causes people possibly to not achieve their English goals. Why? Because they're involved in self-inflicted nonsense. Self-inflicted nonsense. Self-inflicted nonsense, number one, things that might impede you from learning English. Learn English fast. Learn English in 30 days. 60 days. That's right, you too can learn English in 30 and 60 days. Learn English fast. Now, I could be wrong. May I ask you a question as it relates to your native language, your mother tongue? Did you learn your native language in 30 to 60 days? Did you learn your native or mother tongue fast? Most people would say no. So if you didn't learn your native language fast, or within 30 to 60 days, why do some of you think that English is different? Self-inflicted nonsense. When you are learning English, it's just my recommendation. English takes time, it takes practice, it takes work, it takes action. And there are certain things that you might be able to memorize that is fast for a test or an exam. But there's a difference, in my humble opinion, between learning English fast and learning English so that you can be a confident, fluent individual. What do I say about learning English fast? Self-inflicted nonsense. Self-inflicted nonsense, number two, comparing yourself to other individuals. The last time I looked, English is an individual journey. Why are you comparing yourself? And a lot of you, if it applies, compares yourself to native English speakers, or you're comparing yourself to someone that has studied the language longer than you have. What is the point? What is the value in doing that? Can you answer me that question? If English is an individual journey, at least for me, that means it certainly can mean that you can look to people for inspiration or motivation. You can look for those individuals that you think pronounce words well in English or have clarity. You can shadow or copy them or mimic them. But comparing yourselves to others, that is self-inflicted nonsense. Self-inflicted nonsense, number three. I have no one to speak English with. No one. Now, does that really make sense in the 21st century in 2021? You certainly can speak to yourself, right? But let's say, for example, that you don't want to speak with yourself. If you have an internet connection, let's say there's nobody in your city or your country that you can speak English with. Doubtful, but probable, but maybe, who knows? If there's nobody in your country or city to speak English with and you have an internet connection, are you being proactive and taking opportunities to find people in the world that speak English? If there are applications that are for free, if there are WhatsApp group and Telegram groups that usually are for free, there are teachers on Instagram that offer learners like you the opportunity to find people at your level to speak English. But there's no one to speak English with? Self-inflicted nonsense. Oh, but wait, by the way, if you need extra support or guidance, the last time I looked, there are universities, colleges, language schools, face-to-face, online, where you can speak English, but no one to speak English with? If there are tutors and private coaches, yes, you might have to pay for their services, but no one to speak English with? You know what I call that? Self-inflicted nonsense. Self-inflicted nonsense, number 4. Now this might be controversial for some individuals, but my thoughts are my own. Fix your accent. Accent reduction. To me, that's self-inflicted nonsense. Why do I say that? Here's a question for you. Your native language, whatever it is, does it have accent? Like if you speak Arabic or Spanish or Portuguese, is Spanish spoken in different cities or regions of your respective country? If your native language has accent, why would English, which is also a language, be any different? Now, for those of you that aspire, let me be clear. For those of you that aspire to have a native accent, figure out what particular accent you want, because in America there are over 20 different regional accents. Find what accent you want, and then shadowing, copying, mimicking. And for some individuals, you might not want to hear this, but it takes a long time. But self-inflicted nonsense for me is the following. Why do some of you pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars to reduce your accent and fix your accent? The last time, at least for me, that I thought that accent is part of my identity. Do I or do you need to fix your accent or reduce your accent? Or is it that you have an opportunity to focus on your clarity and your pronunciation? How do you feel? What do you think if someone says to you, fix your accent? How does that make you feel? What does that make you think? And if it does not apply to your native language, why all of a sudden are some of you thinking that it applies to English? And I'm not talking about reducing your accent or fixing your accent if, like, for example, you are an actor or actress. But some of you are conditioned, some of you actually believe that if you do not speak like a native and have a native accent, there is something the matter with you. Another way of saying that is the following. Is there anyone that you know, possibly in your country, anyone that you might see on television or in radio, in movies, that have maintained their particular accent, and yet their clarity and their pronunciation is sometimes better than mine? Fix your accent? Reduce your accent? Maybe you have an opportunity to fix your clarity, your pronunciation, your belief and confidence in yourself. Maybe you have an opportunity to question what's more important. What is the message when someone is telling me that? Now, ultimately, that is your business, and you can do what you want to do. But I have, nor probably in the future, will never be reduce your accent, fix your accent. One more thing about it, and I'm going to drop it. If English is a global international language, then why is it that some of you, either consciously or subconsciously, are subscribing to one English that has a particular accent, typically native, coming from a particular region? Fix your belief and confidence in yourself. And the last thing I have to say about this is the following. Sometimes, at least in my own life, if I'm not clear, nor have confidence in myself, and my pronunciation is not correct, it does not matter what particular accent I have. So, self-inflicted nonsense, sin. Now, if you want to continue to be in your sin, no problem. If you want to keep beating yourself up, comparing yourself like others, again, involved in your self-inflicted nonsense, go right ahead. The choice is yours. I can't tell you what to do, but I encourage you, I suggest to you that instead of you being involved in sin, then you have an opportunity to start believing in yourself and doing the work. You want to move from a place of self-inflicted nonsense to confidence in English? For me, what does that require? What are the essential ingredients? Practice, consistency, confidence, dedication. Defining the language for yourself, not comparing yourself to anyone out there. So the choice is yours. Be in self-inflicted nonsense or decide to move. Why? Because I believe that you're worth it. And when you believe that, and when you honestly not only believe that, but live in your English, you might be surprised with the results that you have. This is Teacher Will. Welcome to the place where you and I, hopefully, learn together, because that's my thought and my prayer. If you like, click on that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so that when I drop a video, you are made aware of it. Stay in your sin or move. The choice is yours.